As we long await Amazon to invite us to the game that we, and by we I mean that I really want to play, we're surprised today as the announcement dropped in our laps that Crucible is finally being released, and it has been given a release date of May 20th, 2020. But what is Crucible exactly? And how are gamers taking this announcement that seemingly came out of nowhere? I'm D to the E, up next. If you're new to the channel, please consider liking and subscribing for all things Amazon gaming, especially New World in the coming months. As I've covered in previous videos, Relentless Studios, not to be confused with Amazon Game Studios in Irvine, Relentless Studios under the Amazon tag is actually based in Seattle, Washington. This is being deemed Amazon's first AAA game release, which honestly confuses me that they would wait till there was 15 days left to announce that the game is being released without giving any details of exactly what it is. Up till now, not even in previous videos I've covered, we knew Amazon was making a team-based shooter, but not much was known beyond that. We'll discuss later why this is both a good and bad, well, potentially bad, thing later in the video. Now, if you're asking, what is Crucible? Well, it's defined as Crucible is a free-to-play, team-based, action-based shooter, where your gameplay is defined by the choices you make. Pick a hunter and join a match. You'll need to coordinate with your teammates, take advantage of your hunter's unique upgrades as you level up, and adapt to the ever-changing conditions of battle. Christopher Hartman, Vice President at Amazon Games, says that every opponent, team, and modes pose unique dangers, and no two matches are the same. So players must constantly adapt to everything the world and the other teams are throwing at them. Each team of Crucible's 10 hunters comes with their own unique set of abilities. How you use them is up to you. Whether you join a fight as the evil genius Tuska with her evil acid scattergun, or the robot Bug and his seed pod turrets, there's a hunter to fit every playstyle. Other examples of other hunters that I learned about was one called Earl, an interstellar trucker who fits the role of a tank, or a DPS called Summer. Begin each match on a level playing field. Each hunter has their full array of weapons, abilities at their disposal from the word go. So depending on what kind of playstyle you want, again, there's probably going to be a bunch of different kinds of ways you can play the game, which is interesting and actually probably pretty good. Might be pretty fun. So basically when you first start, you have some time where you can go and kill NPCs to level up, gain some time to get some abilities, some starter abilities, kind of like the pre-game or the early game. And then as you make your way with your team, you're moving kind of throughout the game, and you start engaging with other teammates or the bosses depending on which mode that you're playing. Before each match, you'll be able to select upgrades to unlocked as you level up. With these upgrades, you can define how your hunter fights, bring along additional utility or tricks, or go all in on your damage output. It's up to you. So as you go through the match, you'll have to gather these things called essences. Essence is a strange substance of incredible properties. It's the object of all the commotion on the planet Crucible. You get it from opponents and creatures you kill, or by controlling objectives. As you collect essences, you level up. You'll get access to pre-selected upgrades with each of your first 5 levels. After that, more levels mean more powers and more health. Use your abilities and your wits to master the environment and battle conditions around you. Learn the lay of the land and use it to your advantage. Capitalize on events. Grab all the essence you can. Hunt down the opposition and claim victory. So there are 3 game modes. Heart of the Hive is a 4-on-4 race to capture the heart left behind by creatures, similar to the capture the point style gameplay. You'll go head to head with other players, and each hive contains a valuable heart. The first team to capture 3 hearts wins the game. The next mode is Alpha Hunters. It's like a 2v2, the last hunter standing, where teams battle it out until there's one team or player left standing. If a teammate dies, you can either teammate with other temporarily, teammate with other alliances with players. So let's say you have 2 teams and one player goes down on each team. You guys can band together and become one team temporarily, and to basically continue the match. But it also turns out that you can also turn on that player at any time, even in mid-engagement, to my understanding. This can really create very shady and opportunistic gameplay. Harvester Command is an 8v8 mode where you try to hold the most essence via essence harvesters. Players must capture and hold harvesters locations spread out across the map to try to earn the most points. While I'm hearing comparisons, I have to have my own opinions and disagreements from things that I've heard thus far. As time goes on and games are made, it's like a cookie cutter recipe to take something from one game and add it to your idea and create a whole new game. While some would say this is like Overwatch, I'd have to firmly disagree. As to me, I see a game with character ability that has PvE and PvP in the same game, where there's a level up system that starts you off by getting early game XP unopposed, and you gain your first abilities while fighting NPCs until you reach other teams later on, mid-game, late game. And you have to kill as many as possible to level up as fast as you can, creating gank scenarios, push and defend gameplay. Sounds more like a MOBA to me, more like a Dota 2 League of Legends kind of thing, but that's just my opinion. And you take all that and you put it in a third-person shooter format. But that's just my opinion. And just to kill the chatter about Overwatch and reasons why it's not Overwatch, well, first, when you first start the game, the characters are locked. You can't switch back and forth like you can in Overwatch. And 2, there's a progression tree. You kind of level up, so your gameplay is different. Your hero's always going to act and play different than it would from your previous attempt, depending on what abilities and things you bring to the game, what teammates you have in the game, so on and so forth. Now, I was excited to see that Amazon finally released this, but I do have some issues. One, announcing the game too late, making it a little time and kind of lackluster in the marketing. It doesn't really give people time to really learn and share and discuss the game, and it's kind of sort of slapped us in the face on Twitter. And we were perplexed in trying to understand if this game was worth our time. While many of us already are waiting on one game or another, or even playing that game that we're waiting on, hearing an unorthodox announcement could roll off some people's ears, not even giving them the want to check out the game because, you know, the way it was done. Some could get the feeling this is more of a layover, kind of a stand-in filler game in anticipation for the New World MMO or other titles, as sort of a play while you wait and then bounce situation. While I doubt the studios will work so hard for that scenario to play out, one has to wonder how a game like this would hold up when you have other games that have been covered in much more time and much more in depth when those games are released, how it's going to affect this game. While I'm happy to see the studios pushing out games, I'm really worried if the game is polished enough to hold under Amazon's name. Remember, Amazon pushed back the New World MMO because they said it wasn't ready and needed to meet the bar set by the standard of the studio and the gamers that want to play it before it could be released. Now, while there is a lack of communication being displayed here with the fact that it's being announced only in 15 days, a lot of people are surprised, some with the hype and others waiting to see what the general opinion is after release. While the two games, New World and Crucible, are technically different studios by location, one has to think it still needs to pass the bar of okay by the Amazon bar. We're yet to witness and finally see for ourselves if Amazon is really what they're saying they are in the gaming industry. Will I play Crucible? I will be checking out Crucible. I probably will make a review video on Crucible. I probably will be streaming Crucible because I want to check it out, and I'm really interested in Amazon Game Studios and what they're doing. I will give my 2 cents, and I'll tell you exactly how I feel about it. If I don't like it, if I do like it, all the things about it. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think Crucible is worth it? Do you guys think it's something you're gonna check out? I honestly feel like they could have give way more of a heads up of what they were doing. They were super hush hush about the entire project for so long. And then all of a sudden, bam, here we go. This is what we are. This is what we're doing. I don't know if this is going to work out. We're going to have to see. I don't know. But if you liked the video, please like and subscribe. Please continue to support your boy. Check you guys in the next video. This is D to the E. Peace out.